Rolling.
All right, rolling. Ready?
That's what rolling means.
All right, cool. Welcome to episode 77 of Convos on the Pedicab. I'm here with my boy Eli Halpern. Eli is an MMA fighter, comedian, aspiring rapper, and the owner of Golden Cricket Protein. This is a jack of all trade, and most importantly, a jackass.
And the co-host of Giggleboys.
And the co-host of Giggleboys that is actually on the Drinking Bros podcast network, which is pretty impressive. You're a big deal. I'm really happy that I'm in your presence. I feel very honored.
I feel very validated.
Thank you. Before we get started, this episode is brought to you by Hone Energy Drinks. We made this blend because we were sick of the chemicals in energy drinks, the anxiety and jitters caused by coffee, and the unsustainability of pharmaceutical focus enhancers. We knew there had to be a way to improve our energy and focus without hurting our health over the long term. Calming L-theanine, powerful antioxidants, and caffeine made ceremonial matcha a perfect fit. This ultra-high quality tea has been used for a millennium by Buddhist monks, samurai, and nobles to sharpen their focus and steady their nerves. All right, we're done? Okay, good. All right.
You're not supposed
Hone
to
Energy Drinks. Buy it.
It's Hone Tea.
Hone Tea.
Yeah, my one of my good friends that's his company.
Really?
And I stand by it, dude. It really helps my cardio.
I actually want to try it now.
I got some. I'll let you try.
I would love it. Yeah.
Take it before training. You'll notice an increase in cardio. I swear.
Okay, I actually need to train a lot more than I've been doing. I've been slacking so much this past year.
I've been on and off the last couple months.
But you're busy. Like, how are you able to manage your time to do that?
Well, I don't have a day job. I'm like basically I'm taking like a time off. Like I've lived my whole life in phases. Like I never wanted to work all the time. I always like worked half the year and then kind of just traveled and did whatever I want the other half. So ever since I moved to Austin, I've just been living off savings for the most part and like investment income and stuff. And I've just been using this time to explore my passions and try new things. That's
pretty admirable. I did a lot of that when I was in New York because I lived with my mom and dad and didn't have any bills to pay. So I did Golden Gloves like a long time ago and wrote a book and did a whole bunch of shit. And then came to Austin and was able to kind of balance pedicabbing with like trying to fight and stuff like that, and be the mayor of Austin and do all these other projects. And like I'm in the opposite mode where all I want to do is just make as much money as I can right now.
Yeah, and you got to go through that phase to get to this phase.
Yeah. So what were you doing before you came here to be able to comfortably just be able to just chill and do comedy and train all day?
Well, my first business was a eBay store when I was 12 years old. So I've been doing e-commerce ever since I discovered that it existed.
Oh.
So then I moved on to I tried starting a protein company when I was in college, and that was semi-successful. I invested in a lot of things when I was a lot younger that ended up paying off years later. I had stores on Amazon where I sold like kitchenware and household items. And pretty much between e-commerce and investments.
You've just done well enough for yourself where you're just like, hey, I can just go train, work out, and tell jokes.
Yeah. I also had a coaching business to help people do that stuff. And that was probably the easiest money.
I might want to learn about that.
Yeah.
I might actually want to take you up on that. That's pretty cool. So what made you get into comedy? Like, because you're pretty fucking funny.
Well, thank you.
So
honestly, I didn't really know I was writing jokes at the time. I would put them all on Twitter on a private account. And then eventually I started realizing that I was writing jokes. And I used Twitter specifically because it would timestamp everything. So I could always be like, I wrote this first, just in case anyone ever accused me of stealing a joke or something. And I don't know. I went through a lot of phases of like, what do I want to be when I grow up? And I couldn't really settle on one. So I ended up just branching out into a bunch of things.
That's why, yeah. That's how I feel. I feel like I've done a lot of stuff since I've moved here and before I moved here, and I found out that the only thing I'm really good at is just failing at things.
Well, that's good as long as you keep going.
Yeah, exactly.
Because failure's not a big deal. If you do not get a task done that you were supposed to get done, that is, by definition, a failure.
Yeah.
If you had to go to the grocery store today and you didn't go, you failed. That's not a big deal. Failure should just roll off you like a water on a duck's back or whatever the saying is.
I think that there's like a skill to failing.
Water under a duck's dick. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Dragging weeds.
But no, but seriously, I think there's a skill to failing.
Well, there's a skill to keep continuing after failing and not letting it affect you and not judging yourself for it.
Because I think if you fail enough times, right? Like, listen, man, like I failed as an author. I failed as a musician. I failed as a political candidate. I'm failing as a podcast host if you look at numbers and views and all that stuff, right? But the more I fail at all these projects, well, I failed as an aspiring elementary school teacher.
I'm failing at pretty much everything I'm doing,
right?
except
Failed
for
as a fighter,
podcasting.
right? Exactly. But like what I'm saying though is that like I've failed at all of these things, but like in the process of failing at these things, I've just made more people want me to take them to Rainy Street in the Pedicab.
That's money.
It's money, but exactly. So like, I think there's like a skill to failing, like what you said. Like if you're constantly trying to do things,
Then more opportunities will open up. And if you're in
yes.
that mind state where you're like, I'm gonna get things done, people pick up on that. You'll meet the right people, or maybe that's just specifically in Austin, but or more likely in Austin, because I was still like had the same mind state in LA, but it was just there's too much goddamn traffic to get shit done every day. Out here, I can work all day long.
Yeah,
in LA, I was in traffic for 3 hours.
And people here, look, what I noticed too about the city too is that like, if people see that you're like working at something, or you're trying to constantly create things or innovate something or do something new or, express yourself in a certain way or advance your position in life, this is a city where people want to help you if they see you working.
Yeah, and they want to work with you, and I think that just goes with like male dominance hierarchies. Like we don't work the same way as women, where women often want to like cut each other down, and men, when they see someone doing something better than them and they see that they're competent, they want to join their team and like be a part of their tribe. Like this guy knows what he's doing, let's have him be in charge. Like men are okay with that kind of thought process, where it's like not as much as like this guy's doing better than me, I'm gonna fuck him over,
Yeah, and it's also like, oh, this guy's the man, I want to be associated with this person because then it boosts my skill level too.
Yeah, because you are the people you surround yourself with.
You're the average of your 5 closest friends. What I've heard.
Well, I'm not an alcoholic, so that's not entirely true.
Ooh. When did you start being a comedian?
The first time I ever did an open mic, I was 20 years old. So that was 8 years ago at the Comedy Store in La Jolla. I was not old enough to go in because I was under 21. So I had to wait outside until it was my time to go up. And my entire set was about being an alcoholic. And then it went pretty good. And I was hammered. I don't really remember, but I remember I talked about it with my friend. I don't think people regularly recorded things back then, and that's a regret. But I didn't start really grinding in comedy. Like, when I lived in San Diego for the next 2 years, I maybe did a mic every month or a couple months. But then I really started grinding when I moved to LA, probably like 5 years ago. So I feel like I've been doing it really for 5 years.
Yeah, comedy's hard.
I don't think so.
I feel like it kind of is, though.
It's hard if you're not good at it. Comedy's very easy for me. The hardest part about comedy is waiting to go up, driving and finding parking, and getting booked on shows.
Well, there's also probably like a draining energy to being around a lot of other comics, because what I've noticed when I've like gone to open mics or like been at shows is that like a lot of these comics just seem miserable at their lives.
At open mics, yeah, I've kind of ascended past that level at this point. I'm not really an open micer anymore. Not to say that I'm above them, but I don't need to do them anymore to do good on stage. I don't like how I said that, but I still think I need to do open mics. Everyone does, but the energy that I'm surrounded by people that are getting booked on shows is
different than open micers.
Is much less miserable because they're more talented and everyone's kind of friends with each other. And I remember back in LA, I used to hate the whole networking aspect because I'm like, okay, I just gotta go hang out and like pretend like I like all these idiots. And out here, it's like I don't have to fake it. I genuinely like everyone out here.
Well, that's cool.
Even though I'm sure like 90% of them would tweet like "screw Eli Halpern" if I like got canceled or something.
Yeah, they probably.
But you know, we're coworkers. We're not best friends.
I mean, listen, like a bunch of these guys, they'd let Joe Biden sniff their kid for an HBO special, you know. So it's.
You got that right.
it's what it is, dude. This is the nature of things.
I think that's more likely, actually.
Yeah. I've done a couple of open mics, and I've done like a couple of shows, and I find that like I'm pretty inexperienced, and I'm honestly like I'm pretty bad at doing comedy and whatnot, right? But I found that I like did better when there was like a crowd versus when there was like a crowd of comics at an open mic.
Yeah, so I've always said this, that the first 20% of being a comedian is working on your material and getting good enough to not bomb. And then the next like 80% is just getting opportunities to perform in front of larger crowds. Because even if you're not very good, you'll still do okay in front of a large crowd.
Yeah, I've noticed that.
Because if one person laughs, another person will laugh. It's contagious, you know?
Yeah. And like when I did Guns and Giggles, I got a really good reception at Guns and Giggles from the crowd. And I don't think my act was like all that great. Like I think it had potential, but it wasn't like as good as it could have been. And then when I do every time I do tinfoil hat comedy, I'm getting the same reaction as like Sam Tripoli, Eddie Bravo, and XG. These are seasoned comics. I'm getting the same reaction, if not a better reaction.
You've done shows with them?
Yeah, I've done my rap songs with like Sam Tripoli and Eddie Bravo and stuff.
Fuck! Can you hook me up?
I can try.
That's
yeah.
all I can ask.
Next time they come to Austin, I'll just come through. Just tell me you're a comic.
Sweet.
You know? But like I've done like all of my like 90% of my experience doing comedy has been at like big venues because of my rap songs and because of tinfoil hat.
Yeah.
And like whenever I do like the big venues, like I murder it. People are like, yeah, fuck yeah. They want to take selfies with me. They're asking for my Instagram. You know, like last time I did a show in Dallas, Sam paid me $50. You know what I mean? Right? And like
a lot of comedians would be mad to hear this.
Why?
Because they've been doing it longer and not getting paid.
Exactly. But then I did an open mic at like Lucky Duck and like crickets.
Yeah. But this is what I don't like about the comedy community versus the fighter community, is that there's a lot of jealousy in the comedy community where people will kind of be like, oh, this guy's not that funny and he's getting booked. Da, da, da. And in the fighting community, if someone's whooping ass, if one of your teammates whoops someone's ass, you're not going to be like, oh, that guy's not even that good. I could kick his ass. You'd be like, fuck yeah, dude. I'm happy for you.
Yeah, that's my fucking friend. Fuck yeah, let's go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's because there's a lot of like beta males in comedy that like I think a lot of people feel threatened by me. And that's why if there's anyone who doesn't like me, I wouldn't know about it, kind of thing. But
you think people are threatened by you?
That's the feedback I've gotten.
Why?
I don't know, because I can kick their ass and I'm loud and demanding.
I mean, you're like big and intimidating. Like you just look like some roided up meathead. Like if somebody saw you on the street, but like it's not. It's whatever.
Like I'm definitely bigger than every other comedian.
You're bigger than every other comedian. Yeah.
But yeah, there's none of that jealousy in the fighter community, and it's a weird, like, hanging out with comedians is a lot of fun because we just bullshit and joke around.
Yeah.
And then hanging out with fighters is a lot of fun because everyone's into like psychedelics and smoking weed, so we have like real interesting, deep conversations.
But there is also a lot of bullshitting and joking around too.
Not as much.
I don't know. When I was at my gym before before 10th Planet, it was called Eastside Austin Elite. This is when I was like actually wanting to fight and stuff, and all of the fight and I started like doing improv during my fight camp to kind of take my mind off of fighting, right? And like all of the I got really, I was like pretty good at improv off the bat because of all the jokes that we were just making right before sparring. You know what I mean? Like, we would have these like super intense sparring sessions where like the guys were not as good as they are at 10P, right? But like the intensity of the sparring was a lot higher than what it is at 10P. So like before sparring and after sparring, we were just constantly making jokes because like to deal with like the nerves. Do you know what I mean? So I found that like there was almost more jokes being made when you're around fighters than when you're around like other people.
I disagree. I feel like, at least personally, if I'm preparing to fight, I'm not trying to be silly. I'm trying to be like focused and serious. Like I won't be cracking jokes like usual if I'm about to fight someone.
Dude, I was doing it as like a defense mechanism to like get like my mind in a different spot. I was funnier. Like when I was like trying to fight, like I made 2 of my rap songs. I made that while I was trying to do like Golden Gloves in Austin. You know what I mean? Like I was getting super when I was like
you were writing lyrics while you were
yeah,
sparring.
Not while I was sparring, but like the day after I was sparring, like my creative brain was like flowing like a motherfucker when I was trying to fight. Like 90% of the material that I got running for mayor, I got that while I was like in fight camps.
Well, I can see why that makes sense because the only thing you can do to increase blood flow to your brain is exercise. And that type of training is the most intense exercise you can do. And it's also releasing endorphins. And so I think that neurotransmitter blood-brain increase cocktail is a good recipe for creativity.
Yeah.
Because for me, and I think this applies to everyone, is that exercise should be the foundation of your life. That should be like the first thing you do and then go on with the rest of your day. Because I know once I spend an hour in MMA getting my ass kicked, I'm going to leave there like, okay, if I can get through that, I can get through the rest of this day, no problem.
Yeah, my set's going to be a joke. My comedy set's going to be easy as fuck.
Yeah. Well, no, I just mean like regular life. I'm more nervous about doing stand-up than I am about fighting, even though the stakes are way higher with fighting. But it's because when I go on stage, I'm bringing just myself on stage. I wrote everything. I decided what to say. I'm not listening to anyone. No one's telling you how to do this. It's just a solo mission. When I'm fighting, I'm not going in that ring by myself. I'm going in there with my coaches. I'm going in there with my teammates. And I'm going in there with all of their years of experience and all the things that they've taught me and helped me understand. So by trusting that I can like fall back on their knowledge, I feel more confident going into the ring than I do on stage sometimes.
That makes sense. You know, like Kevin James used to like train MMA with Randy Couture.
Yeah, I heard about that.
And I saw a video of him training, and then he was like,
I heard he's pretty good.
Yeah, he is actually really good. Like he was a wrestler in like high school and all that. Like I think he was yeah, he was like a really good wrestler, like all district wrestler in high school or something like that. Like he played like college football. Like yeah, Kevin James.
He should fight Jake Paul.
He should. That'd be hilarious. In MMA, not in boxing.
Yeah.
Because Jake Paul actually can box.
Hate to admit it.
Yeah. But what I was saying though is that basically Kevin James is like, you know, these guys, they just beat the shit out of me every day, but this really like helps my golf game, you know. It just helps me get better at golf. Like it just helps me get better at every other aspect of my life, just going through that every day.
Yeah. And then after, like, my ideal amount of daily training is 3 hours. After I'm in the gym for 3 hours, I leave there and nothing can bother me. I'm just zen.
Yeah, I feel the same way. That like it helps me out. It helps
right
me
after that shower, slide on some new clothes. I'm just like
have a coffee or something. Yeah, dude, it helps me so much with pedicabbing too. Like if I've trained like 2-3 times a week, oh, I'm gonna crush it on the pedicab. But then also, if I train like too much during the week, I have no energy. So there's like a weird balance of like how much I have to train versus like how much I'm gonna be like optimized while I'm working. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, like Hofstadter says, there's no such thing as overtraining, just under recovering. So if you can't sleep and active recover enough, then you should probably train less.
Well, that's exactly what happens, right? So like from like Thursday to Sunday, you know, you're working till 3 o'clock in the morning on Thursday. Well, and you sleep like 5 hours maybe on Friday, and you got to work all day Friday, and then the same thing happens on Saturday, and the same thing happens on Sunday, right?
Yeah,
you're not able to recover well enough to train 5 days a week. You can recover to maybe train twice a week and be okay.
Yeah, I really rev the engine and burn out.
Does that make sense?
A little
Like,
too much.
yeah.
Like I'll train 3 hours a day and then I'll sleep like maybe 5 or 6 hours because when I'm training that much, like my motor's just running and I'm just like I don't want to sleep. I'm in such a good mood. I just want to keep riding this wave. Like I'm not trying to go to sleep. I feel great.
Yeah.
I think that's called mania, but
Okay, it could be. But yeah, it's like I wanted to train and I wanted to do jiu-jitsu and MMA were like at 12 o'clock, right? But I'm like, well, I got my episode with Eli. So I got to prepare for my episode with Eli. Like, I got to get into like the zone to do my podcast, right? And then it's like, oh shit, I don't have to work tonight, but it's like, all right, well, I got to work like the next day, right? Or I got to go to like the state capitol and like talk to these like senators and state reps to figure out what more content I can put out. So there's so much stuff that comes into it that it's like it is difficult to have like a balance, like to have the balance you want to actually train consistently and do a million different things at once.
yeah. I just had my second fight last week in Vegas.
How was that?
It was a cool venue. I got some really good footage from it. I thought that the whole team would be going together. Turns out I was the only one who signed up, so I just went out there with Ian Selby, the striking guy. And so it was kind of a bummer not going out there with a team because when we always roll to the amateur fights, we roll super deep in like matching clothes, and it's just like powerful.
Yeah.
So there was a little bit of confidence lacking with that, but I was like, you know what? Challenge accepted. I'm going to just kind of do this on my own. I trust Ian, and I held back a lot. I was not I could have done there was a lot I could have done better. But I didn't get hurt. It was a good rep, and I had 3 things I wanted to do in that fight, and I did one of them. So
Okay.
at least that wasn't I got a jab head, jab body, head offset, overhand right to the head, and
Cool.
that felt good.
You ever thought about doing street beefs, Eli?
I'm gonna be on Street Beefs in December.
What?
Yeah.
Are you what?
Yeah.
Who you fight? Tell me.
I don't
tell me
know.
more.
All I know is they said make a fighter video. We want someone who's a interesting person, and I was like, you picked the right fucking guy.
So they called you and said that you're going to be on street beefs?
Yeah, and they were like, make us an intro video, and I made it and sent it to him. I didn't make it funny though. I was just talking about like maximizing human potential and stuff because that's
a part of me
really
wants
why
to
I
go
do
on
this
street
shit.
beefs just so I can like drop woke knowledge bombs.
I might be able to get you on the card.
Maybe, but I got to see how much I can train. But that does seem like it'd be kind of fun.
Yeah, I do worry about my brain though.
Street beef. Do you know where?
If
do
I
you know
get concussed,
wait, do you
that's
know
gonna
where it's
fuck
gonna?
up my.
This is in. Do you know where it's gonna be?
In Austin
Wait, there's a street beefs in Austin?
in December.
Ooh, no fucking way. Where is it gonna be in Austin?
I don't know. I told him I'd help him find a cage.
Street beefs in Austin.
Yeah, they should be posting my. I didn't hear back from him after I sent him the video, so we'll see what happens with
Dude,
that.
that does seem like a really fun promotion, though.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they got like 2.8 million subscribers.
Yeah, that does seem like a lot of fun. I mean, hey, it's an excuse to start training more.
Yeah,
It's definitely an excuse to start training more. Fuck.
yeah.
I
I'm
wanna
about to
there.
go to Costa Rica for the jiu-jitsu camp.
Ooh.
Yeah, and like I remember when Mary got me to sign up, like when I first moved here, and I was like, you're hot, okay, I kind of want to agree with you, but like also I don't know anyone, and I just was like, and she was like, come on, just do it, and I was like, all right, fuck it, and so I signed up, and I was like, I have so much anxiety, like I'm just going with all these people I don't even know, and it's like now they're all my friends, so
Yeah.
like Cody and Andrew are going, and Mary and Lauren are cool, and I forget who else, but. I pretty much, they're not strangers anymore, so that's cool. And we're spending 5 days in Costa Rica, doing a no-gi training camp. We're living in a mansion with a private chef,
That's fucking dope.
and we have to wake up at 8 a.m. every day. So we'll see how that goes.
I think you're going to do great.
Yeah, the thing is, I haven't trained jiu-jitsu in like a long-ass time.
Wait, when is the street beefs? What day in December is it?
I'm not sure. It might be overlapping with this Larry June concert I got tickets to with my brother, which I hope not. But I'm not sure if he gave me an exact date yet.
That does seem fucking fun though.
Yeah, I'm gonna do
I don't
MMA.
I don't see how they're gonna find like an actual outdoor venue though for street beefs in Austin.
Well, I think Penal Code 2.013 or City Ordinance X531217 hashtag apostrophe question mark smiley face emoji. You can legally fight someone in Texas if you have their consent, and you can't press charges for injury if they agreed to the fight. And I think that mainly applies to private property. So they're going to set up a cage on private property and have two people agree to fight each other, and it doesn't need to be sanctioned. Because they're not throwing an event. They're doing a live stream for YouTube.
Yeah.
So that's a nice little loophole.
Dude, that's a crazy promotion though.
Yeah. Yeah, dude, I feel like I'm getting all these great chances at the things that I'm not really trying to pursue a future in.
Yeah.
Like, I would rather just be getting booked on comedy shows all the time. But, like, shit, you're going to put me on street beefs? All right.
Well, it'll definitely get your follow count up.
Yeah. Yeah, which I need because I got Octavius Thunder, my original
Yeah, you got
Instagram
banned. You got thrown off the internet. Yeah.
Yeah, and then I made a second one, Eli.Halpern, and that got deleted the next day. I didn't even post shit.
Why did they delete you?
Either I was posting about the vaccine, I was using an app to mass unfollow people, or all of my ex-girlfriends have came together behind my back to shut me down.
What do you think the most likely reason is, Eli?
Interdimensional aliens have intercepted the photons leading through the optical cables and deleted my Instagram through that.
Dude, that's an eyeball bleeder. I'm fucking woke from that. Holy smokes.
You know, the red pill works even better if you stick it up your butt.
Oh my god.
Boofing red pills, baby.
You were on Kill Tony.
Twice.
How'd you get on that?
Oh, this is a great segue because first time I signed up for Kill Tony, I put my name in the bucket. I'm with my buddy Malik Bazil, who was on The Fighter and the Kids and Apollo Creed. He's doing big things right now. Great guy. It gets to the end of the night, and I'm like, fuck this. I'm not getting pulled up. So I leave. Turns out Malik got to go up. And then the next day, or a few days later, this kid I knew from college, we weren't even good friends or anything, but he just messaged me on Facebook and was like, hey, your name got pulled for Kill Tony, but you weren't there. And I was like, fuck. So I kept going back like every Monday for like 8 months.
Okay.
And then I was like, I think my name's blacklisted. My name's cursed because I put my name in and didn't show up. So I signed up Eli Halpern and Octavius Thunder.
Okay.
And then Octavius Thunder got called. And then I crushed it. You can look it up. It's I'm wearing a green Hawaiian shirt.
I will look that up, yes.
And then my second Kill Tony appearance was the first one that was here in Austin. And I did the same thing. Eli Halpern, Octavius Thunder. Octavius Thunder got pulled. So I went up. That didn't go so well. I mean, I was hilarious, but the audience sucked. I think it came off a little too douchey. But that's also on YouTube. Actually, that's just called Octavius Thunder. But yeah, nothing came of it except a lot of people told me they watched it and it was hilarious. But not hilarious enough for them to book me, I guess.
Lame. What do you think about what happened with Peng Dang?
It's kind of old news by now, but I don't know. Tony Hinchcliffe was like a mentor to him. They'd known each other for years. Peng Dang fucked him over for some clout, and it really didn't do shit for his career. It fucked Tony's career for like a week, and then it skyrocketed him because of Gary.
Really?
Because he had the full footage that showed the context.
Wait, Gary's the one with the full footage?
Yeah.
You saved Tony Hinchcliffe's career.
Yeah, Hinchcliffe was talking to me about it, and I was like, he was like, yeah, whoever had that video, like that video saved my life. And I was like, my buddy Gary took that video, and he was like, your buddy Gary saved my career. And then Gary shows up, and I'm like, yeah, this is my buddy Gary. And he's like, Gary, you saved my life. I am forever indebted to you.
So then the producer of Convos on the Pedicab, Gary Faust, a.k.a. Faust Media / Faust TV, is the man who saved Tony Hinchcliffe's career. You heard it first, ladies and gentlemen. Maybe you could send Tony Hinchcliffe my educational rap songs. Gary.
He won't do it. He's playing the long game.
Gary.
Just trust me. He knows what he's doing.
Gary.
So yeah, then I started. I got a cool relationship with Cody Hofstadter because he's like a very intelligent, articulate, well-spoken, visionary, and he's also a fucking psycho. So
yeah.
So I really love him. So we were talking about, like, I'm so new to martial arts that, like, I'm not going to be good for years. So Cody was like, I want you focusing on dope-ass walkouts. So so he was like, you should wear a luchador mask. Or I don't know if it was his idea or mine. I'm going to give him the credit just because why not? And I was like, fuck yeah. Okay, let's go right now. So we go to the Lucy in Disguise Halloween
That's
or
where I got my
costume
Captain
shop.
America mask.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
So I go there and I go to try on the luchador mask, and I take my mask off, and he's like, you have to leave your mask on, sir. And I'm like, okay, I'm putting this mask on I'm putting two masks on, whatever. So I put the mask on, and then I'm putting the other mask on over my head, and it pushes the mask down. Before I even had a chance to pull it up, the guy over here is like, hey, you need to pull that mask up. And I'm like, you're asking for the smackdown, brother. And then me and Cody just start cracking up, and then he didn't say shit. It was pretty funny. And so yeah, I walk out to like a Mexican hardcore rap song, which was hilarious because my opponent was Mexican, and I was like, I hope this isn't cultural appropriation. But even though cultural appropriation is a good thing, we should embrace other people's cultures. Anyways, I show up. I'm wearing a golden cape with the golden cricket shirt and the luchador mask, and I just get up, get in the ring. I start like flexing and shit, and I'm just like doing all this weird, like, way over the top stuff. And I'm like whooping this dude's ass the entire time, and I could not get a tap. And that was shitty. But I was clearly dominating him the entire time. And that video's on YouTube as well. No, it ended in a draw. It was a sub only.
Oh, that sucks. With the Catch in the Cage, a sub only?
Dude, I've had like 3 draws. It sucks. I need to get better faster.
Just heel hook.
But dude, I'm doing all right for someone who grew up with no athletic background and just started striking like a year or two ago.
Never you didn't play any sports when you were growing up?
Not well.
I mean, you're like fucking huge though.
Yeah, dude, I was a scrawny little bitch growing up. I'm 28 years old now. I've been out of high school for a decade. That's a long time to spend on working on looking like this, you know?
I thought that you were just, you know.
Yeah, most people, dude, that's what a lot of people who just meet me, they don't really like know who I am. They just assume that I've always been like this, like a jock or something, and that couldn't be further from the truth. Like I grew up like trying to learn web design and do art and music and like that kind of shit.
That's a big shocker to me.
Yeah, it shocks a lot of people. Like I'll start playing music and they're like, "Well, I didn't know you played." I'm like, "Yeah, I've been playing since I was like 12."
No fucking way. My mind is kind of blown right now, Eli. My mind is blown. Whatever happened to Peng Dang though after that Tony thing?
I don't know. Last I heard, his follow count didn't even go up from that, and his video got like millions, millions of views. I heard from Tony months ago that he was doing all Asian shows.
Wait, isn't that like segregation?
Yeah, I don't know.
Like, well, I mean, the lesson learned is, don't screw your friends over for clout.
That's a lesson you shouldn't have to learn. You should just know that. If you need to do that and learn from that, you're a bad person and you shouldn't exist.
Well, but somebody who saw what happened could learn that lesson.
I was there.
They could learn that lesson as well.
If you watch the video, you can hear me laughing hysterically in the background.
Yeah. It was fucking funny. I saw the whole clip too. It's almost like it's every comedian's dream. Like it's almost every comedian.
But dude, Tony, I didn't think Tony was funny at all. His first Netflix special, he started growing on me a little bit, and then after that shit happened, his first set back was the funniest thing I have ever seen him do, and he's been so much better since he got canceled.
Yeah, I saw him a couple times at Vulcan.
Same with Shane Gillis. Did you see his new special?
No.
It was fucking amazing, dude. And he's a great guy too.
Okay.
I met him at Vulcan.
Here's what I actually want to talk to you about as a comedian. How do you feel? Because I really think that like right now comedy is like the last bastion of like free speech in America, and of like it's like one of the last ways to really like stand up to like oppression and tyranny and whatnot, right? And it's through comedy, and it's through being like an artist. It's through being like an entertainer. And I've been really kind of disappointed seeing a lot of entertainers cave to like the COVID pressure.
Yeah.
I
mean, all of Hollywood requires you to be vaccinated to even go into any of the comedy clubs, which means you can only make a certain demographic laugh, which means you don't know how funny you really are because you can't gauge it. Because comedy is all about taking a wide range of people and bringing them all together with laughter. And if they're all on board with vaccination, they're already one like specific demographic, and you can like kind of insinuate their political views because of that.
Yeah, it's like Amy Schumer with the Netflix special, you know? How it's like it got 98% on Rotten Tomatoes, but like all the viewers put it at like 10%.
Yeah, I don't really know about that.
I don't know.
I believe it though. A lot of comics hate Amy Schumer. They say she stole jokes from Patrice O'Neal.
I've heard about that too, but she's also just not funny.
I saw a funny meme of her, and it was just like her on stage with the mic, and it's like, "You ever get an abortion and then your vagina has blood everywhere?" I don't know, it's just something like ridiculous. And I was like, "Yeah, that sounds like." I don't know. I don't have a problem with her. She's made me laugh, I think.
Yeah, once. But did you see Joe Rogan's video? Like his little freedom video about how we all got to fight for like our freedoms now more than ever and all that stuff?
No. But also I want to disagree with you that comedy is the last frontier of free speech. I think rap music is. Or music in general. But rap music, dude, what rapper is really getting canceled? Like DaBaby just got canceled for...
Nicki Minaj. A little bit.
They're gonna...
Because she's talking
They're gonna
about
end up fine, though. Because their fans don't care about that shit. Because... rap kind of has like a grittier audience, and they promote misogyny and violence and drugs and crime. So you can like Too Short, like he literally raps about sexually harassing people and sex trafficking women, and he's a legend.
Yeah, but
which leads me to my fallback plan.
But
so I'm dropping a mixtape.
Oh, I saw. Yeah,
it's a pimp mixtape. And so, dude, I just have all these avenues, both for creativity and both for like fallback plans. And I'm pretty good with making music and producing music. I'm not that good of a rapper, but I'm good at writing lyrics. And I think if I work with the right people that are like, hey, say this way, then which is how I handling this project. But it's just a lot more fun because it's easier because it's like I'm still a comedian, so every line is a joke. So I get to write like 100 jokes in one song, like real fast paced, and it's so much fun. And I'll like be recording and I'll pause, play it back, laugh hysterically, and the whole recording. Like I'm sure you've had the same experience when you're recording raps. It's a lot of fun.
It is fun, yeah.
And I don't know, just pretending to be a pimp is like. It's fun to like have different characters and stuff. Like I got like these different characters and personas. Like I'm a big fan of MF Doom.
I like MF Doom.
And he went by R.I.P. Yeah.
R.I.P.
And he went by all these different monikers. He had King Ghidorah, Mad Villain, fucking Zevlov X, KMD. He had a lot of different personas, and they all had their own little stories. I mean, they're all kind of like the same guy, but I don't know. I like having different like Octavius Thunder, the fighter, Brody Lowballer, the That's gonna be my rap name for now, because I
like
talked
it.
to my buddy Maurice, who's like a professional musician. Like that's what he does for a living.
Yeah,
And,
but are you willing to sell your soul? If you get a record deal, are you willing to sell your soul to the Illuminati for a record deal?
probably not. Or I would just say that I would, and then you know what? I'm not gonna reveal my plan. We'll see what happens.
Do you know anybody who's like actually made it big?
Yeah. This guy that used to sell a bunch of drugs in college and rob people all the time and get arrested and shoot people.
In college?
Yeah.
What fucking college did you go to?
He Santa Barbara.
All right.
He wasn't shooting people in Santa Barbara though. That was in LA. He's doing pretty well right now.
So did he have to like sell his soul or sign a contract in blood? Or
Oh, he never
like,
had a soul. He's a bad person.
And he's just killing it.
I guess. I mean, he's always recording with like real big names.
Well, good for him.
Yeah. I'm trying to think who else. I don't know. I know a lot of talented musicians that haven't made it yet that I got high hopes for.
Yeah, but then there are also a lot of very untalented people that make multi-millions of dollars, right?
Well, if I can blow up, if any one of my projects really blow up, the rest of them will follow suit, and then I'll have a significant platform to where I can help other people blow up. And that's really what my goals are based on, is maximizing my human potential while inspiring and motivating others and being able to create a platform to help others and my friends.
As long as it doesn't come with selling your soul and eating children, I'm fully on board with that.
Yeah, I don't need to do that. I'm not trying to be a billionaire, just like, multimillionaire.
All right, respect. I was gonna say something. I literally just forgot what the fuck I was gonna say. Oh, Giggleboys. How did that get? You got you're on the Drinking Bros Network. How did that come about?
So I was doing Casburgers for like 4 years. That's my
Okay.
podcast. That's I'm gonna do that till I die. I'm not trying to sign that over anything. That's just like my personal little journal, and I get to say whatever I want, and that's a lot of fun. And my buddy Mike Eaton, he's like my best friend in comedy, and just one of my best friends in general. He was a recurring guest on Casburgers, and we always had the best conversations. And I had a lot of people that were like, I don't know, he laughs too much. But then Mike has a huge following of people that love him, probably more than me. And I was like, you know what? Let's just start a podcast together, and I'll I don't know, try to figure out how to blow this up, because it's always better to work as a team. And I don't know, Mike can be a little more palatable than me, although the roles have kind of reversed recently. Now he's saying all kinds of crazy fucked up shit, and I'm like, ooh, tone it down.
I'm trying to get a fucking Netflix special, bro. What are you doing? I want a record deal.
But Mike has this superpower of saying like awful things, like on the same tier as me, but having it received much better. Like, he can say some really offensive shit.
Well, because he looks like non-threatening.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. So, so we were, I don't know, 20-something episodes into Giggleboys. One of my friends introduced me to one of the Drinking Bros guys, and I introduced myself. He already knew who I was. He's like, oh, yeah, Giggleboys is hilarious. I've seen your stand-up. You're funny. You want to come on the podcast? And I was like, yeah, for sure. So I called Mike, and I was like, hey, come on the Drinking Bros with me. Let's promote Giggleboys. And we went on there. The audience said we were like the funniest guests that they've had in forever. And they saw like we have potential, and we're like unknown right now. So they're trying to milk us for everything we got. No, they're great guys. We haven't even signed a contract yet. They're just cool guys that like to hang out and talk shit. So then they brought us in. They're like, hey, we need a Saturday night show, and I think you guys would be perfect for it. Do you guys want to do it? And then they're like, it's a 70-30 split. And then Mike's thinking like, oh, yeah, 30%. I'll take 30%. And I'm like, no, dude, we get 70. And he's like, oh, shit. And so, yeah, we're like, okay, we'll record next week, Wednesday, 3 p.m. And we get over there. Our room is all set up. We got cameras in there. We got people working for us. And I'm like, holy shit, dude. We're like, this is the real deal. Our first episode got like 3,000 views in a week, and now every episode we drop gets at least 1,000 views the first day. But it usually caps around like 25, 300.
Dude, that's insane. So how do you get paid from that? Do you get paid per view? Do you get paid like set
We get
rate
paid
or
from
what?
ad revenue. We don't have any ads yet. We just got our first sponsor.
Okay.
And I was actually talking to Gary about this, and he started this conversation off in a very retarded way. But we ended up making a lot of progress because he was saying that I should be out looking for my own sponsors and not just leaving it to them, because I have more of an incentive than they do. And I think finding local sponsors is what me and Mike need to work on.
Yeah, Giggleboy. Yeah. What if your own company sponsored it?
We do, but I wouldn't pay myself.
But you would though
because
because
me and Mike split the money, so then I would just be giving him money.
Oh yeah,
And he owes me money because I financed the whole recording.
Well, I'm just saying for taxes, it would be a good like tax plan, like a
Well,
tax write-off. Because you got to draw it down, right? Like it's a drawdown, and this way you're using your company to sponsor your own show, and probably good for taxes.
That's actually a good idea.
Yeah. I know.
Can I pay myself
yeah.
to promote myself?
Well, your business can pay you.
Ooh.
It's called a drawdown. Like I have an LLC
All
and
right.
I do that.
$10,000 a month.
There are a whole bunch of weird.
I gotta talk to my accountant.
Dude, there are a whole bunch of weird ways to like get around the tax code.
Yeah, when you have an S corp, just anything I do while I'm talking about Golden Cricket is a write-off. Or when I'm trying to tell people they should pre-order it and stuff.
I have an LLC.
I'm wearing this right now.
Yeah.
We're talking about this. This is a write-off. This doesn't cost me any money though.
Yeah, you write off zero. I have an LLC, so anytime I do anything where I'm pitching my show and
You need to make an
giving
S
stuff a
election.
what is that?
You fill out a form 2256 or 2253. You just look that up. S election IRS form. It takes about 30 seconds to fill out. You mail it in. It is free, and then all of a sudden you get all the benefits of an S corp.
What is an S corp?
You know how people are complaining that all these rich people don't pay any taxes?
Yeah.
It's because they have an S corp and they utilize write-offs. So if you have enough money, what you really would want to do is get an S corp, start a charity, donate to your own charity. You get 50% of the write-offs. Anything that is in the charity fund can only be used for the charity, which includes paying employees. So you can set your own salary. I would advise a salary of like the lowest tax bracket, just so you have money coming in for potential loans and credits and things like that to expand your business.
And you could pay yourself out of your own charity.
Mm-hmm.
It's fucking insane. I mean, that's why Bill Gates has gotten richer exponentially from just giving all his money to the foundation.
Yeah, but you can only write off 50% of your donation. So I don't know. Daniel Tosh has a joke. You know what's better than write-offs? Keeping all your money. Sorry, that's a rich people joke. He said it funnier, but
it's pretty funny. Yeah, they do that with artwork too. Like you can have somebody like paint you something, and you can get it. Like if you have a connection in the art world, you can get that get some random painting appraised for like $1 million, and then just donate that $1 million painting to like a museum, and then all of a sudden it's like, oh, I donated $1 million worth of art to a museum, and that's another tax write-off.
really,
Yeah.
genius. I know a very good artist.
So we're just brainstorming ways to get around this whole thing. All right, before we go, tell us about Golden Cricket.
Okay, so I have always thought that people should eat insects.
Like Bill Gates.
I don't want to be compared to him. This is an original thought that I came up with on my own.
And he stole it from you.
Without inside influence. Yeah,
All right.
outside influence. So I don't know. I was in Thailand. I ate a scorpion. It was delicious. This was like fucking 6 years ago. And I don't know. I just always thought people should be eating bugs, but like we don't because it's gross. And it's like, what? Okay, eating a cow is gross. Probably grosser than eating insects. Like you wouldn't take a bite out of a cow's leg. It needs to be prepared properly. So I was thinking it would be more palatable if we prepared the crickets properly by dehydrating them and grinding them up into a powder, mixing them into a delicious protein bar, chocolate, banana, peanut butter flavor, my favorite combination. And you don't even taste the crickets. And I think the main selling point is that each bar saves 140 gallons of water compared to whey protein. So that's a significant amount of water, and I'm all about sustainability. Like, I got solar panels on my house and stuff, and I'm all about clean energy. And it just seems like a no-brainer to me. The only roadblock, the only obstacle is just changing people's minds about crickets and bugs being gross to eat.
So whenever we have a golden cricket protein bar, we're eating insects?
Yes, they're made of crickets.
That explains the name.
I thought that was really obvious.
Yeah, I just wanted to reiterate for the audience.
Okay. You're
I'm
not sure if I believe you, but at least the audience knows now.
The audience knows. Okay.
Check out goldencricket.com. We are accepting pre-orders. You will be getting about 15% of a discount if you pre-order now. You will not get the bars for probably 3 to 4 months. So if you want to save 15%, that's worth it for you. It would make me happy and help me out, and it'll come back to you because I'm trying to help the community.
Yeah, and they taste good too. I've had a couple of them. They are really good. Mm-hmm. I didn't know that. That is pretty cool. And it's, if you could do that while
even my fat friend Mike Eaton thinks they're good.
You're saving the planet. Like, you're a real humanitarian. I give Pedicab rides by, and I fight climate change and socialism at the same time. So we're just two guys just really doing our part for the environment and planet Earth.
Yeah, I mean, ideally, I'd like to go worldwide with this and like solve world hunger, and save water and just save the world.
Dude, this is like really noble. I want to almost have you back just to talk about this golden cricket and sustainability in the environment at some point.
I mean, they contain all 9 essential amino acids. They're 65% protein by weight. They're high in B12, omega-3, omega-6. They emit 200 times less greenhouse gas than cattle, and use, I think, like 1,500 times less water and 100 times less space. So it's really a no-brainer. Just everything about it. I don't believe in superfoods like acai berries, goji berries. They're not superfoods. That's a marketing tactic. I don't really think superfoods exist. But if I was going to say anything is a superfood, it would be insects, because you can truly live off those. And they're also date sweetened, which is the most nutritious natural sweetener in the world. So I'm combining 2 of like the best things. And the thing about dates is they have a very high potassium level, which slows the absorption of sugar into the bloodstream. So that it doesn't cause an insulin spike like other protein bars with like brown rice syrup or other types of sugar.
That's actually pretty cool. That's interesting stuff. You guys should sponsor this podcast, Eli.
Yeah, I'm down.
Hell yeah. All right, cool. Anyway.
I'm trying to sponsor everyone. The biggest thing is my first marketing move is going to be sponsoring the MMA team at 10th Planet and having them basically market it for me. So they're benefiting from it, and it's also helping the company, which will help benefit them more. And
you get this out to the whole fight MMA community, which is pretty
awesome.
Yeah.
And once people see that this is like a bar that like the most, what's a lot of people would agree is like the most vigorous sport, people are relying on this product. It's gonna raise some ears, and people are gonna be interested.
Well, how much does it cost you to like get this off the ground?
I don't know yet.
I mean,
I haven't placed my first order, and I don't want to get into finances.
Okay, respect. We can maybe talk about it when we're off the air and stuff.
Yeah.
All right. Anyway, Eli, how do we get a hold of you?
Here's my Instagrams: Golden Cricket Inc., Cast Burgers. That's hard to spell. Giggleboys podcast. Brody Lowballer. That's my rap alias, which by the way, that's a play on Jody High Roller Riff Raff, because even though I don't like, I really am against being unoriginal. I do think in music you don't need to treat it like comedy, and you can get away with stealing things a little more. And I think like Van Gogh or Picasso said, if you copy one person, it's stealing. If you copy a lot of people, it's art. So I'm kind of just taking a little bit from a bunch of my favorite artists. I wouldn't say Riff Raff is one of my favorite artists, but he definitely is a character that I admire and enjoy and respect.
All right, cool. Well, Eli, thank you so much for coming on. Eli Halpern, ladies and gentlemen.
Thanks for having me.
Of course.
Cool.
Yeah.
That was fun.
Dude, thanks. Yeah. Hopefully you got to say everything you want to say, right?
Yeah. Yeah. I did.